Some people, they build a cage for themselves, and it's not made of iron bars, right? It's made of comfort. They choose this quiet, dim survival over a brilliant, maybe even dangerous existence. But what happens when that cage starts to rust? What happens when the universe itself decides that stagnation is a terminal sickness? Well, that's when you meet a very specific kind of judge. And that's when your trial begins.
And this is the entity our traveler is about to face, the daemon of truth. Now, he's not a villain, not in the way we usually think of them. He's more like a cosmic corrective force. See, when a soul gets completely stuck in the illusions it's built for itself, the daemon is summoned. His whole purpose isn't malice, it's clarity. But it's a clarity delivered with the cold, industrial weight of absolute truth.
So our traveler's journey, it all starts right here, in what we'll call the gilded cage. It's this comfortable little prison they've built for themselves, brick by brick, out of the fear of the unknown. It's safe, sure, but it's also where growth goes to die. And it's this very architecture of stagnation that rings the bell and summons the judge.
And this state of being, it isn't just a bad habit. It's described as an architectural flaw deep in the soul's journey. It's a fundamental error in its own design. It's like our traveler has built their entire life on a faulty foundation, and now the cracks are starting to show. But before the judge just shows up, the universe tries a much gentler approach. It uses these things called the 5 fingers of fate, these fundamental forces. Things like memory, that deep hunger for the future, fear, love, and, even the thought of the ending. These are all supposed to be whispers, little nudges, but for our traveler, they were all ignored. They chose to stay locked in the cage.
And, well, when subtlety is ignored, the universe has no choice but to get loud. It starts to narrow the traveler's world, closing off all the easy escape routes and cranking up the volume on the silence until the only thing left to confront is themselves. And this isn't tyranny, it's a necessary intervention. It's forcing a choice that the traveler absolutely refused to make on their own. This intervention, it forces the traveler into a place that's, it's outside of normal reality. It's called the uncanny valley. And this isn't a physical spot on a map, it's a psychological underworld. It's a landscape populated by these chilling stone trees, which are actually physical manifestations of repressed trauma. This is where the real reckoning begins. Here, in this in-between space, the universe kind of loosens its grip. The normal rules of cause and effect, they're suspended. It's like everything hits the pause button. And this creates a moment of absolute, unburdened free will. One of those rare turning points where the traveler can actually slip between the fingers of fate and truly choose their own path. And who's waiting there in the valley? The daemon of truth. He appears as this dark sentinel, the high judge, and his purpose is crystal clear. He's there to act as a kind of philosophical acid. His job is to dissolve every lie, every illusion, and every fragile piece of the traveler's ego, that outward mask they've been showing the world. From there, the journey descends even deeper into the subterranean temple of volcanic glass. This is it. This is the final courtroom, the place where the traveler's soul itself is going to be weighed, completely stripped of all pretense. Inside this temple, the traveler undergoes a systematic dismantling of the ego. This isn't a debate, it's more like a surgical procedure. Their entire sense of self is exposed as just a static disturbance. Then they're subjected to a blight of revelation, a fire that is designed to burn away every single lie, just to find out what, if anything, is left underneath. And to the traveler, this process, it feels like the agony of 10,000 hells. I mean, of course it does. But from the universe's perspective, it's a crucible. It is a necessary fire designed not to destroy, but to purify the soul and reveal its true substance. So after being stripped down to their absolute core, the traveler is finally presented with the ultimate choice. With every illusion gone, 2 fundamental paths are laid bare. This is the moment of truth. This is everything. On one side, you have the logic of zero. The daemon offers this incredible peace of the void, a final end to all struggle, just a quiet return to nothingness. It's the mercy of erasure. But on the other side, that's the logic of one. This is the path of defiance. It means embracing all your flaws, your original catastrophe, and choosing the agonizing, beautiful fire of continuing to exist, of continuing to become.
So, this is the central question, isn't it? After everything has been burned away, what do you choose? Do you accept that eternal gravity of the void, the sweet release? Or do you stand in the fire and claim your existence, warts and all?
In this one moment of absolute, total free will, our traveler makes a choice. And it's a choice that doesn't just affect them. Oh no, it ripples through the entire cosmos itself.
They rejected the peace of the void. They chose the harder path. In what can only be called an ultimate act of defiance, the traveler took total ownership of their unfiltered self. They transformed that destructive fire of dismantlement into a creative fire of becoming. Against everything, they said yes to existence.
And here's where it gets truly profound. The universe's response, it doesn't punish this defiance, not at all. Instead, the very fingers of fate that once tried to guide the traveler now adjust. They learn the unique shape of that soul's will. Fate itself actually makes space for this new, sovereign being.
And this is how a spirit distinguishes itself from just simple inevitability. By refusing to yield, by choosing to become rather than to just disappear, the traveler carves their name into the silence of eternity. They create a legend through one single act of pure will. So, in the end, the traveler wasn't punished. The whole point of the trial was transformation. Having passed through the fire, what they experience is a soft release. They're let go from the universe's tight grip, but now they're empowered by this quiet, unshakable strength they forged themselves.
Ultimately, this whole journey shows us that the universe adapts. It makes space for those who choose defiance, for those who become legends. The daemon's trial was never meant to be an execution. It was an invitation. And that leaves us with one final, very personal question. If your own gilded cage began to collapse, what space would the universe make for you?